Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, Fragrance Fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and $100 range. Most of these are way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I found a discounted version of Bleu de Chanel, which is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's like $11 at Burlington. I found this thing. So let's go ahead and get into Bleu, Cedar Bleu by Declassified. So call me generic or whatever, but I love Bleu fragrances. They just work so well for my energy. There's just something about a Bleu fragrance that just does me right. I can't have enough of them, it seems like. And Bleu de Chanel happens to be basically one of my favorite fragrances of all time. The eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, the parfum. Right now, I think I'm currently kind of on the eau de parfum train, whereas before I was like on the parfum, like just a couple weeks ago. Like it's an ever revolving, ever changing thing. And because they're all so good, they're all so close, in my opinion. And when I got this thing, right, it's $11. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I wasn't expecting any kind of performance. I wasn't expecting it to be even that close to the scent profile. I was expecting it to be a gym bag, body spray, generic, cheap version of Bleu de Chanel. As far as performance with the original Bleu de Chanel, it's not like it's any kind of beast. It's like a strong average. The overall longevity is like a 6 to 7 hours, which is pretty good. The projection is like right at average, but I think the sillage is pretty good on Bleu de Chanel. I think it like hangs out and lingers pretty well. I think that's one of the cool things about it, at least on me. And this one, I wasn't expecting it to get anywhere near any of that, right? When I first sprayed it, I was pretty impressed by how close it actually was smelling to the original. This was not a side-by-side. This was just like out of the store, and I sprayed it, and I'm like, okay, wow. It does kind of have that citrus, grapefruit, like ginger pop. This doesn't have grapefruit. It's got like lemon and mint and ginger, whereas Bleu de Chanel has grapefruit, lemon, mint, ginger, pink pepper. This has pink pepper too. They share a lot of the same notes. It says the notes right here on the back of it. But if you are familiar with Bleu de Chanel, you notice that there's some notes missing and there's others that are flip-flop, like some that would be a like mid-note or like a head or vice versa. There's just a couple things that are different. That doesn't matter as long as it smells the same though, right? So overall, I have the two, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette on my left hand and Declassified on my right hand. So the opening is where there's a good amount of difference. Obviously, the Bleu de Chanel is going to be better quality, like head and shoulders better quality. Very, very crisp, fresh, vibrant, clean citrus up top. Whereas this one is a little bit more muted. It's not necessarily abrasive or too bad. Like it's not like offensive or anything like that. It's just not as clean and crisp up top, but it's there. You do get that refreshing citrus vibe up top. And this is quite a bit woodier. Only when you're doing a side-by-side. Because when I was just smelling it, even though Bleu de Chanel is one of my favorite fragrances, I'm quite familiar with it. It didn't give me that vibe when I was just smelling it on its own. But next to each other, I can clearly tell a woodiness. When they start to dry down, they become closer, much closer relatives. It's almost like they're close cousins in the first initial 15 minutes, and then they become like brothers, you know, with only a couple ages apart that look pretty similar. You know what I mean? It's a terrible analogy, but they smell pretty close in the dry down is what I'm trying to say. And the performance, I've only worn it that one time, and it didn't do too bad. It was like 3.5 hours or something like that. with maybe 45 minutes of like actual projection. So my assessment on the performance was pretty accurate. It's going to be like that gym version of Bleu de Chanel. This says it's an eau de parfum. I just have a hard time believing that that's what it is. But as far as the scent profile, it's a good one. They did a really good job at replicating a much, much, much more expensive fragrance, especially in the dry down. Of course, you know, the Chanel's gonna have a better quality. It's just there. The incense is much cleaner. This barely has any incense. It's got the powderiness. It's got the vetiver. It's got a good dose of wood. That bright, crispy citrus up top. This says that it has incense in it or smoke or something. I forget what they call it on the back of this. But it's not as clean as like the Bleu de Chanel. Not quite as sweet or something. But man, overall, like if I spray this in the air, I know that 100% that they are going after Bleu de Chanel. And now that I reminded myself that it is, or I've compared the two, that it is woodier in the air, I catch that. And now that I said that to you guys, you'll probably catch it too if you're familiar with what Bleu de Chanel smells like. So overall, for $10, if you like that scent profile and you don't have other fragrances that are like that, Maître de Bleu or Kings and Queens or something like that, then you can go ahead and scoop this up as far as a budget version. If you have one of those, the Maison Alhambra or something, you really don't need this because it's going to be super redundant. Or if you just love buying fragrances for no reason like me, then and you like that scent profile, then get it because it's only $10. But other than that, yeah, $11 version of it, pretty good. Just as versatile. The scent profile anyhow, not the performance. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on Cedar Bleu. So with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always, and until next time.